All right, my friends, welcome back to Salt City Counseling. Once again, my name's Scott. I'm a licensed therapist here in the beautiful state of Utah. Thanks for watching. Hope you will subscribe while you're here. I got another video we're going to talk about high conflict co-parenting specifically. Try to keep some of this high conflict content going. I know a lot of you are here for that. I know a lot of you appreciate that. And so I'm just kind of keeping it going for you guys in particular. But I hope that you will stick around for some of my other content, which I try to make to be high quality in terms of your own mental health, your own good, and all of that. But again, so specifically going to address high conflict co-parenting, trying to co-parent with a high conflict individual. This one is going to be probably more specific to borderline personality disorder, or BPD. Which I continue to get a lot of questions, a lot of people who come in my way wanting to pick my brain and ask questions and just expand this knowledge base. It's a rabbit hole. It's a big, huge rabbit hole. And this one is honestly just going to be fairly quick and easy, quick and simple co-parenting tip. Particularly if you are co-parenting with someone who has borderline personality disorder, and borderline moms specifically have a tendency to do this, and it tends to create a lot of complications. And that is that what I notice with people is that if they're attempting to co-parent with a high conflict borderline mom, which of course, as we know, is a HCBM, Scott's lingo, the HCBMs, the high conflict borderline moms, they have a tendency, like the apologetic parent is what I call them. And I've fortunately talked to enough of you that you don't take offense to that. It's not intended to be offensive. It's not intended to be an insult or anything like that. I'm just trying to be honest about what it looks like and how it goes, right? The apologetic parents, they tend to put way too much stock and way too much legitimacy into the things that the HCBM says, the things that she says, and then are usually often kind of stunned or surprised when she does something entirely the opposite. So this is sort of the nature of a personality disorder, more or less, that their personality is kind of in shards or it's in fragments. And day to day, minute to minute, whatever, you might be interacting with a different facet or a different part of that personality, like you're interacting with a different human being. And one of those facets, one of those parts of them, really seems just absolutely hell-bent on giving off the illusion or the idea that they are a good parent. They want to be seen as a good parent. They fail to realize, because again, it's almost like you have these different components. They're not talking to each other. Imagine like a computer where you have different parts of the computer, like maybe a flash drive, and maybe like different. I'm trying to think of the different components that people would like when I was growing up with computers. It's like you had a hard drive, you had a disk drive, maybe you had a CD-ROM, right? And the various things could talk to each other thanks to the motherboard, right? And with HCBMs, high conflict borderline moms, there's no motherboard. Those separate components don't talk to each other. And so there's one component to their personality that wants everyone to think that they're a good parent. And so they will make all the big, giant, super duper promises in the world to go bend over backwards to make sure that the kids get well fed and well educated and have a million fun extracurricular things to do. And at the end of the day, they don't do any of them. Because frankly, here's the truth. The HCBMs are exhausted by parenting. They find parenting to be exhausting. I hear this all the time, that the HCBMs, usually when it comes to their parent time, are often locked away in their room for hours on end staring at their phones. And that I even encountered one situation where parenting for the high conflict borderline mom entailed setting up cameras in the house and the mom watching the cameras from her room on her devices, whether it's an iPad or her phone. And then when the kids were doing something they shouldn't be doing, she would come out of her room to yell at them and tell them to stop. And as soon as they stopped, she would retreat back to her room where she would stay. And man, you can't make this stuff up, right? That's pretty harmful to the kids psychologically. Just saying. But again, stop putting so much weight into the things that they say. That's my tip. That's the tip of this video. Talk is cheap. Okay? Talk is very, very, very cheap. They can make all the pie in the sky promises in the world, and they usually do. They usually tend to get at some grandiosity with them, some grandiose ideas that they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that, and they're gonna get really rich by selling Mary Kay or something like that. They want to swim the English Channel, and then when it boils down to it, they're exhausted. And they can't bring themselves to do hardly much of anything. And then they get really, really aggravated and frustrated because they just run out of gas really quickly. And so if they say that they're going to, put the kids into skydiving classes, into scuba classes, and underwater basket weaving classes, and they're going to play soccer, and they're going to play hockey, and they're going to play lacrosse, and then the kids are going to, ace the SATs because they're going to be studying and engaging in this amazing homeschool program that she has planned for them. And none of it happens. You may have noticed this. And so really the tip of the day is if she's saying that she's going to do all of that, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Really what you want to do is just be like, okay, go ahead. And that's about it. And know in your head, she's not going to do any of that. And that's okay. We don't expect her to. So you want to, this is the second tip from this video, okay? You're going to want to adjust your expectations. Expect them to say that they're going to do a lot of these big grandiose things and do virtually none of it. Adjust your expectations. Realize that talk is cheap and adjust your expectations. And so you can save yourself a lot of frustration and aggravation just by realizing that, yeah, this is just how it goes. She says one thing and she does another. And really, for them, parenting is exhausting for them. A lot of women with BPD, they go into parenting a little bit with a mindset that the children will nurture her, will care for her, will comfort her, will coddle her, whatever, and that they will love her because if she has somebody that loves her the way that she needs to be loved, then poof, all of her issues are resolved. And we, of course, know that's not true. And they find themselves neck deep in parenting, feeling aggravated and frustrated because the kids aren't living up to her expectations. She wants them to fix her. Because, I mean, look, here's a mental health tip in general. The things externally are not going to fix you. Borderline narcissism, anxiety, depression, whatever you got going on. Okay? The external things aren't going to fix you. And borderline personality disorder is particularly guilty of this. They put a lot of weight. They just put a ton of weight into the external things that they hope or believe are going to actually fix them, and they don't work. Right? She decides she's going to be a photographer. She wants to be a wilderness photographer, and so you end up spending $2,000 on a camera, and then the camera just gathers dust, right? And understand that when she says she wants to do something, she's going to do something. It's probably not going to happen. And that's okay. Just keep your expectations realistic. So if you have questions that you want to ask me, I feel like when you all ask me questions about this type of stuff, that's often where I get some of my best content, some of my best videos. So send me an email, scottc@saltcitycounseling.com, or you can leave a comment in the description below and ask a question. Though I cannot guarantee that I will see it. I don't always end up being able to see all the YouTube comments. I don't know why. Anyways, please subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000. Please subscribe. I would really love to do some super chats, some live events, some live streams, so that we can pick topics regarding high conflict, custody, divorce, and you all can ask me questions in real time. So please subscribe, share, comment, like. You know what to do to help me grow my channel. So help me get there. I'm so super close. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.